Well, we may be starting to have some fitness issues here at Luton Town as our squad is stretched a little thin with an injury crisis on the way. But a few players are starting to recover, and after the next week or two, the schedule does settle down. The big question is, can we get through these two big games in the meantime? We've got a massive one in the battle for the Champions League when it comes to Premier League action this weekend. But first, just 3 days earlier, we've got a trip over to Greece, and this one could be absolutely massive. Any form of positive result, and we're into the Champions League knockouts for the first ever time. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 52 of this FM06 Let's Retro Save from Luton Town. We're back following a one-day sick note. Apologies for the no video yesterday. We're back to full strength and we are back to face Olympiakos and Bolton in our two next games. As you can see from the Champions League table on the right of the screen, any form of result will see us go through at the expense of Real Madrid following our shock 1-0 win against the run of play in the last episode. So even a draw away at the Greek side would be great, but they've got a star-studded lineup, which we'll see in a minute. Albeit, we did beat them 5-1 at home a bit earlier in the campaign. Then we face Bolton 3 days later, and the Premier League table is looking tasty. Bolton are the side in 5th, currently 8 points below us, but if they win that, it's a 5-point gap. It will be a similar goal difference. We've had our troubles against them before. So at this stage of the season, I'm not counting my chickens, despite a very positive start. In better news, Manchester United still in the relegation zone. Vincent Kompany, how do you feel about your decision to go there? Serves you right for rejecting Champions League football for the big money. But either way, let's go and have a look at what's been going on in the last few weeks. Because with the transfer window looming large, we've got to be very quick in deciding who we want. Because this squad is starting to get stretched thin. Walcott, Crouch and Decisive are all making their way back from injury, as is Keith Keane. Unfortunately, only one of them anywhere near fit enough to be on the bench today. We've got a similar issue with likes of Agbonlahor, with Ashton, who have come back and played regular football. We've just not been able to cope with them coming back in because they're playing so many minutes that they're then ending up absolutely knackered again. And even some of those stalwarts who have been playing most weeks, you can see the likes of Flamini there really starting to struggle physically. So with this game on Wednesday and then another 3 days later on Saturday, we've got to be very careful. The only positive is we've got a 2-week break after that before the hectic fixture schedule over Christmas. Luckily though, most of those games winnable ones at home where I feel we might be able to rotate a bit. We've got a fairly friendly draw in the FA Cup as we've got Ipswich in the third round at home. We've just beaten them in the League Cup. And I did think that we'd have a League Cup quarter-final in the middle of this 2-week break. We've not had a draw yet, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Though it does say the quarterfinals are the 22nd, so actually we're only going to get 11 days off, aren't we? Might even get to see the next game after. The big news, though, is that we've played 2 games off camera. One of them went as we expected. Away to Ipswich in the League Cup, we rotated a lot. Agbonlahor and Ashton came back in, played together up front. Both scored. One of them set up by Keane, one of them by Foley. Brilliant performance. Very happy with it. And we got to rotate most of the team there. Even a run out for Leon Osman, who'll be leaving at the end of the season. Then away at Chelsea, this is where the surprise came. Perhaps because we got to rest people in the midweek, we looked really strong throughout. It was Diaz, Guarin and Dean Ashton with the goals. But it wasn't just the win that was impressive. It was the manner of the performance. We matched them pretty much everywhere. Yes, you would say on the balance a player draw would have been a fair result. But we took our chances. We made them count. It was just a really good display. It wasn't one of those where Kasper Schmeichel had to be magnificent. To be fair, João Leonardo had a really good game. We set him to man Mark Torres. And they did look a little knackered at times, Chelsea. The likes of Moutinho, Cole, Lampard, all struggling physically late on. But it was just a really impressive day and one I didn't expect against one of the top 2. But this is where the challenge comes now because those games are piling up. And while against Ipswich we got to rest people, we saw a little bit against Spurs at the end of the last episode, didn't we? We just ran out of steam in the second half where we had to play those 2 games in a week. And that was with a 5-day break. Now we've got 2 games in a row where we've probably got to play our first team. And the only way I can see a solution here is if by chance we're 2 or 3 up against Olympiakos at half time, then we can maybe rest 3 players for the weekend. But if not, Bolton's going to be a very tricky match. So let's go and get through to the first of tonight's matches. If Inter Milan do their job, they go 2 or 3 up, we can also think about resting people. But I've got no choice at the moment but to go full strength. partly because it's an important game for us. It could be a monumental moment in this save, but also because I've not really got much choice. Other than perhaps Maloney and Foley, there's no one really fully fit who's capable of coming off the bench. So it does leave us in positions where we've probably got to stick with what we've got. The position I'd love to rest someone is Flamini. Keith King could come on later on, but he's definitely not fit enough to do 90 again, especially having played against Ipswich in the League Cup last week and then featured in the last game too. So this is the 11 that we've gone for. No big standout goal scorers apart from Crouch this year, but he's not fit enough to be in yet. So it's Kasper Schmeichel between the sticks with Van den Boer, João Leonardo and Davis our back three. Basagno is still playing in holding midfield, which is why he's not in that defence at the minute. He's alongside Flamini with decisive and of course with Guarin out as well. We've got Zonneveld and Diaz the wing backs. We've got Portier in as our number 10 in pretty decent form at the minute. And then up front is Shane Paul and Dean Ashton. And that gives us Maloney as a sub option as a number 10 and also as a centre forward too. Agbonlahor's there. He's doing all right, but he's not fully fit just yet. So let's go and get into this. A big game away in Greece, and anything other than a defeat sees us through in the Champions League. Beyond my wildest dreams and ruins our chances of winning the UEFA Cup. Well, here is the Olympiakos side we were talking about. And while they've not got as many stars in there as they did at the start of the season, they've still got Badibo up front, who at 33 is still magnificent. And most importantly, on the left of midfield, Ji-Sung Park, always underrated in FM, always underrated in real life, but a fabulous player and deserves to be our thumbnail star today. I was always a big fan. Kafes, the Greek midfielder, rock solid, but they are sort of a level that we would expect to compete against. And when we started this group, we were aiming for third above them. We've done that, but now, can we finish above Real Madrid? You can see on the bench they've got the likes of Tim de Cler, who did have a knock last week, so maybe that's why he's missing out. As Shane Paul gets the ball at the back and aims long. I am worried about Dean Ashton up front. He's been really struggling physically in recent weeks. If we can get the position to rest people, Flamini and Ashton will definitely be the two I go for. And then maybe Zonneveld at left wing back as well. As Boades puts it forward, might not get to think about that for now, because that Olympiakos are pressing and we're under pressure. It's up towards Ashton. Can we hit them on the counter attack? Sort of what happened at Kenilworth Road. We weren't brilliant against them, but then we hit them on the counter with 2 quick goals. And we were able to dominate from that point. As Shane Paul gets down the right hand side. Cuts inside to Diaz, who's making an underlapping run. Goes forward himself. He's got support from Flamini. Might choose to shoot here. Instead plays for Basagno. He might well go for it. And the shot's parried away. Back into danger. Dean Ashton beaten to the rebound. It's cleared down field as far as Davis, He picks it up on the left wing. Finds Zonneveld. And he goes for the big ball to Basagno again. Who shoots again? This one's over the bar. The 20 long shot rating seems a little bit optimistic for him. But to be honest, with 15 minutes gone, I've been pretty impressed by the start. As Kafes picks the ball up in the middle, we highlighted he's a good footballer. They have got a couple of stars in their team, but Park Ji-Sun, definitely the biggest name as he cuts it inside. They definitely look a threat on the attack, and they did in the first game too, as Leonardo's been beaten in the challenge. And Constantinu probably should have hit the target there. Badibo did really well in that target man role. Found a lovely through ball, but it wasn't finished. As Kafes goes wide to Boades, gives it away to Portier. This is the chance we waited for. Very similar to how we went in the lead at home against them. Portier to the box. There's 2 in the middle. Can he find a cross? He's been forced wide. In towards Paul. Wins the header. That's really well, the little centre forward there. He flicks it over the bar. Portier gets credit for the play. And we go straight from the goal kick with Costis. Out to the right-hand side. Zonneveld will chase. And Paul makes the run. Is he onside? Beats the defender. Lobs the keeper. Oh, what a goal. Shane Paul, that's superb. What a minute he's had there. Almost scores and puts it just wide for the goal kick. Then from the goal kick, gets on the end of Zonneveld's header and puts a beautiful dink over the keeper. Exactly what we were looking for. We were 1-0 up, but can we defend the set piece? Davis heads away. Almost falls for Zonneveld. Would have been one counter chance that. Now it is. Where has the Olympiakos defence gone? Is Zonneveld be the keeper? Surely no one's getting back. Oh, they are. Why did he run towards the danger? Really poor from Zonneveld there as Van den Boer heads away. Let's have a look at the Inter score. Real Madrid are 1 up, so we do need to win this as it stands, or get a result, As Zonneveld in towards Shane Paul. He's won another header. I mean, he's not the worst in the air, but he's only 5'9". I've not seen him be this dominant in an aerial performance for a long time, as Zonneveld's on a free kick. 10 minutes to go in the half is a good save again. Keeper punches clear. Just having a look at some of their star players. The skipper up front is one hell of a striker as well. Looking at the left back who's brilliant. This is a good team. And we are putting in one hell of a display so far. Can only think that they're short in one or two positions as we picked up a knock there. I didn't see who it was. I'd be surprised if they don't bring on like Tim Declare or some of their bigger names. But at half time, we're doing well. The only question is, how much longer can we go with the likes of Flamini and Ashton? And how much will it harm us if we take them off? Real Madrid are still winning, so we still need a result. As Zonnevel chips in towards Basagno, Padibo heads away. Zonnevel wins it back for Vandenborg. A second goal would make my decisions a lot easier. And Davis returns for his error there. Fair play to him. Portier up towards Ashton. Loses the flick on. Flamini gets it back though. Dean Ashton with a shot. Oh, that's stunning. We left him on a few extra minutes. And what a reward we've had. It said he skids across the turf at full celebration there. Do not do that, Dean Ashton. We know what your knees and ankles are like. Do not skid on the turf, because that could be the end of your season. Stay on your feet and do the simple Shearer celebration or something. We don't need any of that now. With just under an hour gone, I'm going to make those changes. Definitely those two coming off as they combine again. Can they get us a third before it goes? Ashton's ball's just over here. It's going to stay 2-0. Inter Milan have equalised. Right, that combination means we've got to take the risk now. Keith Keane will come on for Flamini, straight swap. Agbonlahor on for Ashton, straight swap. Looking elsewhere in the team, it's probably only Shane Paul, who is a candidate to come off physically. Maybe we'd look at Zonneveld on the left-hand side, but we'll give it 5 or 10 minutes before deciding. It's been a really professional, comprehensive display so far, and there is Tim Declare. As Zonneveld steps up, that had gone in, we could have made the sub. I think we will do anyway now. It's going to be Mike Zonneveld off for Gallinucci at left wing back. A nice simple straight swap. It's a position where we need to be stronger from the start. If we have to bring in a Foley or a Maloney or something, I can handle that at the weekend. But we can't really be bringing in Gallinucci from the start or Keith Keane, which is why we need to think about those positions. As Costas goes back to his goalkeeper. Big ball downfield. I mean, you've got to look at the positives again. Davis, Foley, Keith Keane, all Luton Youth Academy products, all getting time in the Champions League in this campaign. As Shane Paul's in for 3, Agbonlahor and Paul, the former Villa youngsters, combine. He must have done that a few times in the youth team, and they're doing it again now. What a result. 12 points we're going to pick up in the Champions League. 3 home wins and 1 at Olympiakos. Park Ji-sung can't do anything about this. His teammates have let them down as Agbonlahor gets it. Can we put some real gloss on this? It'd be lovely if he could get one as well. Agbonlahor down the left-hand side. Ball in towards Paul. It's a good one. Defenders combine to clear. Away as far as Keith Keane, who finds Davis. Up to Basagno and Leonardo. Diaz to Vandenborg. Good football. Professional. Keeping possession. Is so composed. We look like we're a seasoned European team, not Champions League debutants. As Agbonlahor flicks on for Portier. Brilliant save. Got to give the keeper credit. He's done so well there. And with a 1-1 draw elsewhere. Yes, Real Madrid have been disappointing with 7 points overall. Yes, we didn't deserve to beat either of the big 2 teams at home. But we did. We kept 3 clean sheets in the group stage. And we managed to rest a couple for the weekend. Hopefully, that will have some form of positive impact when we play at the weekend against Bolton. James Beattie got 4 for Celtic. It's Craig Beattie. I thought it was James Beattie. How good has he become? Geez, there's a January transfer target. How's he only scored 2 in the SPL but 7 in the Champions League? What an outcome that is. Adriano got the equaliser for Inter Milan. Some big names popping about here. But Luton Town are through in the Champions League. An incredible achievement. Money in the bank as well. And Christian Portier, the star of the show. Now we've got to recover because in 3 days we face Bolton. I'm just hopeful that these strikers and these stars can be fit. Hopefully we'll get a bit more help on the bench as well. I need the same 11 to go again. Well, we're now taking part in another thing that can't happen in modern football. The early Saturday kickoff after a Wednesday Champions League game. The big sides fought against it in real life, but we've still got to put up with it here. You don't know how lucky you are these days. Let's go and see the side we can put out against Bolton. Again, Dean Ashton is struggling. He's only 92% fit. However, we have got Peter Crouch the same, ready to be on the bench. So he's going to come into the squad. Osman and Ferdinand will definitely drop out. Then I've got to work out what we do. I probably need both strikers on the bench because Shane Paul isn't that fit either. But Zonnevel got a rest. He's 99%. So let's drop Gallinucci out for Crouch. Decisive and Walcott are not quite there. So I'm going to rest them one more game. There's no point rushing them back. Keane can come on, Foley and Maloney the same. Everyone else is fit. Basagno's not in great shape, Portilla not either, and the front two are on fumes. But we're going to put out the same 11 for now, and the only change is that Peter Crouch is back on the bench. Now, he scored 3 times more goals than virtually anyone else this season. That might not be a bad thing or a bad weapon to have on the bench. Bolton at home, though, have they had a week off or are they in Europe as well? They are not in Europe. So a week off for them after 3 successive clean sheets. I've got a feeling this might be a European hangover. Let's go and find out and see if Bolton can close the gap to 5. Well, we do struggle against this 4-1-4-1, and it's a better Bolton team than it gets credit for because James Keane is a regular in the England squad now and has even scored a couple of goals while playing for the international team. He's up there with any of our strikers. Robin van Persie on the left is world class. They've got Buonanotte in the middle, who is brilliant and still got plenty of room to develop at 22. Kevin Nolan is another that's in every England squad at the minute. And Juve, Sivok, quality players. Matthew Upson, Glenn Johnson, they're all England internationals. It is a brilliant Bolton team. And as we go into the first half with a knackered squad, we're playing against a fully fit side, which really makes me worry. Andre Arshavin is among their substitutes. They've got quality there if they need it. And Chris Peake, their sub-striker, is the former wonder kid at Palace, who we tried to sign when they got relegated. Bolton beat us to the signing, and while he didn't make Europe the first year, he's definitely up there again. There's a long ball forward towards Keane, which Leonardo wins the header from. I think it's just because their team sits deeper. They end up picking the ball up with space to run into. Keane there puts the ball wide, but Juve had acres of space. And he's not been the best start again. They are the team we really struggle with. Maybe I'm going to have to adapt tactically against these sorts of sides. As Basagno, that was a tired challenge 3 minutes in. Just sort of stuck a lazy leg out, didn't win it. And Wallace can bring it forward to Van Persie. Space on the left-hand side. Basagno's just gone flying out of position to try and correct his error. And it wasn't the right thing for the discipline of the team. Bolton have had 2 big chances already. It's been a very slow start. As Schmeichel goes for a long kick towards Zonneveld. Glenn Johnson wins it. And now Juve has got that space to run into again. Flamini dragged wide. Juve cuts inside, finds Glenn Johnson. Big ball to the back post for Lee Wallace. Chance to cross, but it's blocked. And then it's into the box again, and Zonneveld just about gets there before Juve. He's not the best defending in the world, but we're coping. We've just about survived. Van Persie's corner into the back stick. Nicky Hunt up against Davis. We saw how good he was last season as well now, Nicky Hunt. The Sivok finds Wallace. We cannot get out of our own half. Genuinely superb from Bolton so far. Basagno wins it though, and this is what we need, a chance to counter. Portilla to Zonneveld, it's over here. You've got to get the 5-yard passes right, boys. Portilla was brilliant in midweek, but that's not a good start. As Zonneveld plays a 1-2 with Flamini, a first chance to go forward. Into Flamini again, but we're playing a safe option. Basagno to Flamini. Someone look forward, there's 3 attackers up there. Davis, Basagno. Now's the chance. Rodrigo Diaz into Portilla. Goes for the shot. Good save. It's taken a while to come. We've watched Bolton dominate. It was a good opportunity in the end. Nicky Hunt's picked up a knock. Dean Ashton's fouled him. And Rodrigo Diaz is spared by Mike Dean as Van Persie puts in a corner to the front post. Goes all the way to the back actually. Nolan heads it over. It's calmed down the last 15 minutes. But I'm anxiously trying to get to half-time and seeing what we can do to change this game as Vandenborg goes up towards Ashton. Falls for Flamini on the second ball. Shane Paul brings it down. Deflected shot. It's not really causing any trouble for the keeper, this. Who needs treatment now? It's one of the defenders. João Leonardo in trouble there. As Juve on the right-hand side finds Johnson. Good ball into Keane. He's got space. It's a brilliant save. Juve on the rebounds. And Schmeichel can't keep that one out. I think it would be fair to say it's been coming. I just sensed this was going to be a hangover. It's a big ask for these lads. And physically, the struggles are really starting to show. It's just a shame if those 3 players, with Crouch, with decisive, Walcott, they got back 3 or 4 days earlier, they all would have been involved in this one. But it's just not come quick enough. But the game has just come too quick. If it had been a couple of days later, we might have been all right. I'm going to give it 10 minutes for the lads to react to the team talk. But I'm probably going to throw Crouch on. I don't know what to do at centre-half. But Zonneveld goes back to Vandenborg. Chance to level up Leonardo. Oh, that's awful. It almost goes out for a throw-in. Dismal effort is fair from the commentary. I don't know where the other subs can come. Sean Maloney might make a difference. Paul's struggling as well. Flamini's picked up a yellow, but he is physically okay today. As Wallace throws into Van Persie. I just don't see a way out of this. Into Keane. Could be two. Good save. I'm going to make the subs now. And I'm just going to hope, if we can nick a point out of this game, I'd be thrilled. Keeps the gap at 8. Ashton's got a 5 out of 10. We're going to go for Crouch and Agbonlahor. Straight swaps up front. Leonardo's the man I want to bring off. I mean, the only option I've got really is to go for Sagno centre-half and Keane into midfield. And I think that's what we're going to do. So I'm gambling on 3 changes after 55 minutes. We're getting our first choice top goal scoring target man back on. I'm not sure what else we can do. As Johnson on the right goes back to Buonanotte. Agbonlahor almost nicks it. But Bolton just look fitter. They look sharper. And there's no surprise. We got back from Greece in the early hours of Thursday morning. And we're playing at Saturday lunchtime. Bolton have had a week off and it shows. They're a good side. They're in form. And they're doing really well. An hour gone. I think it's going to be not long before we have to go more aggressive and chase this game. We'll give it till about 10 to go. And I think we have to push for it and hope we can do something. Peter Crouch has not had a sniff yet. And it's still Bolton on the attack. As Davis is going to try and head away. Not clearly though. Buonanotte back to Kevin Nolan. Lee Wallace with time to Johnson. And the shot goes wide. Let's go and make some changes. Tactically this time. We're just going to go a bit more aggressive. So if we go to the team instructions. We're going to change our mentality forward. We're going to change our creative freedom forward as well. I mean, there's not much creativity in the team. Diaz has picked up a knock as well now, but I can't do anything about it. So I'm just going to have to stick with it like that, I think. I think we're just going to go for it. We're going a bit more aggressive. But equally, I don't want to throw everyone forward because I'd rather lose 1-0 than letting 3 or 4 and ruin the confidence. It's just whether we can create one chance, win a free kick in a good position, and more importantly, avoid conceding again. Keane, oh my God. It's deflected in. It was going miles wide. And people asking in the comments, you've mentioned it tactically, we need to be a bit more aggressive. We need to be a bit more attacking to really push to the top. You've got to remember we're overachieving. And every time in these games where we try and chase one and we go a bit more attacking, we do still generally concede. We're not quite ready for that step yet. Bolton are probably a better 11 on paper. And with an extra 4 days rest, with us playing on Wednesday night, look, we still consider this a decent episode. But it's a disappointing day, isn't it? Maybe I should have just gone for fitness and rested 4 or 5. But we tried that last year against West Brom and we weren't good enough. Maybe I'm just going to have to try and find 1 or 2 more upgrades in January. The problem I've got this year is that Zonneveld's going to be going on a free at the end of the season. He won't sign a new deal. So my only route really is to replace the left back. And then what money have we got left? As Agbonlahor, great run, then puts the shot into the side net in. Just not been our day. Ultimately, we've achieved something very special today. We've got through to the Champions League last 16. We've finished above Real Madrid in a group stage campaign. And that's going to be very special. However, we've just been tested a bit too far. Our squad depth's not quite there. And when you add into the mix that we've got 5 or 6 injuries, we just can't quite compete. So maybe we're going to have to do 1 or 2 bits of work in January. As Bolton have just been too much. Ultimately, though, if you'd offered us at the start of the season, you'll lose to Bolton on, the middle of December, and you'll be 5 points clear of them in a race for the top 4. I think I would have taken that, wouldn't I? Hopefully we get a nice League Cup draw. Hopefully we get ourselves through, and Peter Crouch has got through half an hour. So there are some positives out of today, but it's going to be a Bolton win. There are 20 seconds remaining, and we've been thoroughly outplayed and deserve to lose this match. We cannot have any complaints. 1 shot on target in the whole 94 minutes. And we've not really looked good no matter who's on the pitch. Agbonlahor can't get on the end of that one. We've gone for the desperate long ball at this point. The only question is, how bad is the Diaz injury? Is Leonardo's poor? And are we going to be able to recover in 11 days' time? Which hopefully the break is coming at the right time for us. It wasn't good enough, but I'd have taken this at the start of the episode. A win to get through in the Champions League. Diaz out for 3 weeks. He'll miss the festive periods. It's just all going wrong a bit this year in terms of injuries. We're clinging on because we've got a stronger squad. But we're going to need a little bit more. This is where we are at the moment. We've got a League Cup tie coming up. Then a few big games over the festive period. But they're not really the exciting ones. United, West Brom, Sheffield United, all in that relegation mix at home. Middlesbrough, bottom of the league away from home. So some winnable games in there. And then we will return. I think we'll do the end of the January window and then Arsenal away from home. Depending, of course, on who we get in the FA Cup fourth round. If we get through to a League Cup semi, that plan might change. But for now, the plan is some January work, and then we'll return at the end of it for that and Arsenal. But hopefully it will be a League Cup semi-final instead. I'd love to win a trophy in this save. That'd be the ultimate goal. If you enjoyed this one and you're looking forward to seeing if we can push for silverware this season, then please do chuck a thumbs up, subscribe and turn that notification bell on. Hopefully, all being well, we'll be back to our daily videos every weekday now from this save. And at the weekend, we'll have our stream reruns from LMA Manager 2003. Thank you so much for watching and being involved as always as we make history in the Champions League. Yes, it was another European hangover, but it's worth it to look forward to the last 16. I'll see you next time to find out who we're facing and see if there's any new faces through the door at Kenilworth Road.